In 2011, a decision was made by a teenage boy in China, a choice that would irrevocably alter the course of his life. It was a decision that started with a simple, youthful dream and tragically spiraled into a nightmare. He wanted what every teenager around him seemed to have, a brand new iPhone, but he couldn't afford it. So he made a choice to sell something far, far more valuable. He sold his own kidney. His name was Wang Shangkun, a 17-year-old from the rural province of Anhui. He lived a modest life, doing his part to help his family make ends meet. Yet, deep within him, a powerful desire burned. He longed for the perceived luxury, the status, the pride of owning not just an iPhone, but an iPad too. To him, these devices weren't just pieces of technology. They were symbols of success, a ticket to belonging in a world that seemed to be leaving him behind. Every day, he'd see his classmates flaunting their new gadgets, and the feeling of being an outsider grew heavier. One evening, while online, a message flickered across his screen, a message that would set his tragic journey in motion. It read, "Want to sell a kidney? We can pay 22,000 yuan." That amount, roughly $3,500 at the time, was a fortune to him. It was more than enough to buy the gadgets he so desperately craved. The brokers on the other end of the chat assured him it was a safe, simple procedure. They told him he only needed one kidney to live a perfectly normal life. It was a lie he was desperate to believe. In April of 2011, Wang made his move. He secretly traveled hundreds of kilometers, leaving his home and family behind, to reach Hunan province. There, not in a sterile modern hospital, but in a run-down, poorly equipped facility, a group of men waited. In a setting that could only be described as an illegal clinic, they performed an illicit operation. They removed his right kidney. After the surgery, they handed him 22,000 yuan in cash and sent him on his way. The entire procedure was conducted without the proper medical care, in conditions that were shockingly unsanitary. With the cash in his pocket, Wang's first stop was an Apple store. He bought a brand new iPhone 4 and an iPad 2. For the first time in a long time, walking through the school hallways, he felt a sense of pride. He finally had what he thought would make him fit in. His classmates were stunned when he nonchalantly told them, "I sold my kidney for these." In that moment of fleeting triumph, he believed it was a price worth paying. He couldn't have been more wrong. It wasn't long before his health began to crumble. Soon after the operation, Wang fell seriously ill. The unhygienic surgery had led to a severe infection that his body couldn't fight off. The infection spread, and his remaining kidney began to fail under the strain. He was diagnosed with renal failure. His body could no longer clean his own blood. At just 17 years old, his life was now tethered to a dialysis machine, a machine he would depend on just to survive. When his parents discovered the horrifying truth behind his new gadgets and his declining health, they were heartbroken. They immediately alerted the authorities, and their report cracked open a dark underground world. The investigation led to the unmasking of a black market organ trafficking ring. In the end, 5 people, including the surgeon who performed the operation and the brokers who lured Wang in, were arrested. They were tried and sentenced to prison. But for Wang Shangkun, this justice came far too late. The damage to his body was irreversible. As the years passed, Wang's story became a global phenomenon. It was a cautionary tale, a meme, a modern tragedy shared across the internet. By 2019, reports indicated that his condition had worsened. He was bedridden, permanently disabled. His remaining kidney was functioning at only 25% capacity. His life had become a repeating cycle of dialysis treatments, entirely dependent on machines and the constant care of his mother. Today, Wang Shangkun lives a quiet life, far from the media spotlight that once chronicled his downfall. His iPhone and his iPad are long gone, broken, outdated, forgotten relics of a devastating choice. But the price he paid for them, that price will last a lifetime. In a moment of reflection, he once said, "If I could go back, I'd tell myself, no phone is worth your life." We live in a world that is obsessed with technology, with status, with the next new thing. But the story of Wang Shangkun serves as a powerful, haunting reminder. Some things, once they are lost, can never be replaced. Thank you for watching. If this story touched you, Please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more stories that matter. Stay safe and cherish what is truly valuable.